AJ Fletcher taking on the newcomer Themba Gorimbo. 10-3 for Gorimbo, making his debut, plus 240 for Gorimbo, minus 240 for AJ Fletcher. Over under set at 2.5 rounds, plus 115 for the over, minus 115 for the under. AJ Fletcher, he came into the UFC off of the Contender Series. He had that flying knee knockout in the first round, which everybody loved. He came in having all finishes except one. So he was 9-0 and had 8 finishes. Comes into the UFC against Semmelsberger, loses a decision there, and then loses against Angelosa at UFC 278 last summer, and kind of exposed him in a way that you can get him tired. And for Angelosa, he really just had to weather the storm in that second round, which was no easy task, and almost got finished. Like Fletcher almost finished him for sure, but Angelosa was able to battle through it and hold on, and then win the decision because Fletcher was gassed out. Was at altitude though, so I will give him a little bit of a pass there. A lot of people were, gassing out in that fight or in that card, but he kind of gets hit a lot. Like watching the Semmelsberger fight and the Losa fight on the feet, he's dangerous, but he gets hit a lot. Like he has to take one to give one, and he can get taken down. I mean, he's an explosive athlete. That's really what he is. He's an athlete. He probably should move down to 155 if he can. I mean, at 5'10", he's kind of a ball of muscle for welterweight. But yeah, it's tough to get there to be that big of a favorite. But then I watched Themba Gorimbo, and I wasn't really that impressed watching him on film. There's not a ton of it out there, but just watching him against Henderson Ferreira, his loss in the UAE Warriors 24 back in 2021, he got like handled pretty much. He got out wrestled and he didn't even have a chance in that fight. It didn't even seem like that. But then gets a decision win in Fury FC last summer, and then gets a chance in the UFC here. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems like they're bringing this guy in to fill a spot and maybe setting Fletcher up with a win here because they like the guy. He's probably pretty marketable. I mean, he's friends with Dustin Poirier. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's 0-2 in the UFC. He kind of needs a win. Like, let's just be honest. You come into the UFC, lose your first 2 fights, you kind of need to win your third one to, have any kind of negotiating power going into a contract. So I'll take Fletcher for the pick. You're better off taking him inside the distance or something, because if it goes past, the second round, I don't really like his cardio, and he could get taken down here. I mean, Gorimbo is no small 170er. I mean, he's 6 foot, 76-inch reach. That is another thing to highlight in this one. Look at their reaches. 76-inch reach for Gorimbo, 67 for AJ Fletcher. So it's not, you're giving up 9 inches in reach. And for a guy that already gets hit a lot, he might have to take this to the ground himself, or at least be aggressive enough to get on the inside. He's going to have to. He's really going to have to, but he might open himself up to getting taken down. So again, a greasy fight. A greasy fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that scares me is Gorimbo's length. I mean, like you just touched on the reach. If it stays on the feet, I think AJ Fletcher is going to have problems finding the chin and closing that gap. But if AJ Fletcher can just get his hands locked in the clinch, that he can take Gorimbo down. But, I mean, Gorimbo is long. He's got Darce chokes on his record. He's got, I mean, he can find submissions. He's been submitted as well. Doesn't find a bunch of knockouts. So, I mean, that's one thing. If he was this big knockout artist, I think he's only got, let's see. I think, did I read right? He's got one knockout on his professional record.
Yep, one.
Yeah, so I mean, if he was this big knockout artist, it would make me feel a lot better, laying some money on him. Maybe he was long enough, he could keep the distance, pick AJ Fletcher apart from the outside, maybe find a knockout with that power. But I'm just not seeing it. I think his only chance to win the fight is if AJ Fletcher is going in for a double leg or up against the fence and he uses his size and his reach and uses those long arms and somehow snatches up a neck. But I just think you look at the level of competition. AJ Fletcher's last two losses are much better than the guys that Gorimbo's fighting in his other promotions. So I think AJ Fletcher just needs to get in close one time, get this thing to the ground, possibly find a submission of his own. Gorimbo's been submitted before. On the ground, I think, is where we're going to see a big discrepancy in skill. On the feet, I think it could look close just because of that reach advantage, the size advantage. But at some point, you have to think that AJ Fletcher is going to get in close enough to get the takedown. And yeah, for the sake of the pick, it's got to be AJ Fletcher. I can't really get there on the money line either, just because Gorimbo is somewhat dangerous with the chokes. And, if it's going to be that style of fight, he could maybe snatch up something at some point. But yeah, right now, for the sake of the pick, AJ Fletcher is the side I'm going to be on.